college advice video for you graduating seniors. First of all, congrats, you made it. I'm going to give you a couple tips for college. Attend class, first of all, most important. You're paying thousands of dollars to attend these classes, so there's no reason to skip. Like, seriously, it's 1 hour, 1.5 hours of your entire day. There's no excuse, all right? Go to class. Beware of the student snack bar, the student cafeteria, all right? I don't know if you heard, but the Freshman 15 is a real thing, okay? Now, beware. For me, it was the chicken strips and fries. They got me. So be careful with that. All right? You're going to have way more money than you need, so you won't starve. Learn to cook also. Stop eating cup noodles. All right? That's the poor man's food. Treat yourself, okay? Learn how to make a couple simple dishes, all right? Especially if you feel homesick. Do intramural clubs. It's a great way to meet new people. And most important, always be safe. All right, don't leave your drink unattended at a party. If you do meet somebody, use protection, all that stuff. Just be careful, because in this day and age, lots of diseases around, lots of big bad things happening. So be careful, have fun, go to class, do your work, and I hope it's one of the best times of your life. All right. To the class of 2018, I'm going to miss you. Be safe. Goodbye.
Here's my 3 quick tips for college freshmen. Go Sharks. Number 1, do something new. Try a new sport, join a club, try swimming, take up cooking, go to a play, do something you've never done before. Remember that you don't grow by just doing the same things over. You grow by getting outside your comfort zone, so try it. Number 2, make sure you stay in touch with your family. Give them a call or WeChat, video call every week. And number 3, remember, the best and the cheapest food is always at the places that look like there are holes in the wall. Don't be afraid, go through the door. You'll be glad you did. Hope these help.
Hey graduates, these are my top 3 pieces of advice for your college success. Number 1, talk to your professors, get to know them. And don't wait to do this either. During that first or second week of a new semester, make sure you stop by their office during their office hours, which are hours they designate to meet with students. Stop by, introduce yourself, tell them how excited you are to be in their class, ask them any questions you have about their syllabus. Don't spend a lot of time because they're going to be very busy, but just 3 or 4 minutes to let them know who you are. That really goes a long way to building a good relationship with them. And you need a good relationship with your professors. You definitely don't want the first time you talk to your professor to be when you need something, such as if you have a flat tire on the way to class, or you're deathly ill the day of a midterm, something like that. You don't want that email to be the first contact you've made to that professor, because they're not going to go for it. Second is to make the library your second home. Every school has a library. Colleges and universities all over have some of the best libraries there are, and that should be your second home. Yeah, you're going to live in a dorm, you're going to live in an apartment close to campus, but most of you are going to be living with people. And I really don't recommend that you try to do your homework or do your studying around a whole bunch of people. You just won't get a lot done. Instead, find a place, find a desk in a corner of one of the floors of your library and make that your spot. Go there every single day at the same time and spend 3 or 4 hours. Weeknights, of course. Have fun on the weekends, but on the weeknights, Monday through Friday night, make that your spot where you do your homework, you do your studying. My final bit of advice is this. Participate in things outside of class. Don't make your college experience just about going to class, getting your degree, and leaving. These days especially, college is just as much about building connections and networking. So if your professor announces to the class that there's some sort of social gathering or some speaker that's coming to visit campus, go to that thing. No matter how lame it might sound, go do that thing in hopes that you will have some shared experiences with your professor and with your classmates as well. Get to know these people outside of just going to class every day, because they're the people that are going to help you actually become employed and do the sort of things you want to do after college. Those are my 3 pieces of advice. Best of luck to you, seniors.
Hey, congratulations, graduates. This is Mr. J-Bill from QISS, and some advice, some really off-the-wall advice. Number 1, you're going to be bombarded with credit card offers. Do not open up or take one of their special offers on a credit card. You don't need it. Secondly, in the classroom, try to sit in the first 2 or 3 rows. The reason is there's going to be lots of distractions. You're in a new place. There could be a cute boy, cute girl, things like that. And if you're in the first 2 or 3 rows, you're not going to be worried about anybody else but the professor. So therefore, you're going to be able to absorb more of the lecture or whatever the professor is discussing. Lastly, your school is going to have a lot of activities for students to go to. And those are very, very important to go attend. I don't doubt that you're going to be scared, be a new person, a new place, but just remember, I don't know how big the university you're going to be at, but that however many thousand kids are there, they're in the same situation as you. So go to these events and you're going to find people just like you and make new friends, because it's going to make the college life that much more fun and allow you to be more successful. So anyway, good luck.
Okay, here are my 3 college advices for seniors. First one, I got this from a professor, is sit in the front of the class. You're paying for those courses, and so it doesn't particularly do you any service to be in a place where it's harder to hear, harder to be seen, and where you might be sitting with people whose interest is not doing the best they possibly can in that class. So I found it was an interesting psychological shift to go into a class, sit right up front, and it kind of sent a message to the teacher, the students, and myself that I'm there to learn, and it's kind of a place for work and to better oneself. My second piece of advice would be to learn to cook. This is something even after college I feel is a great pleasure. It saves people money. It's a great way to be healthy. It's a great way to spend time with others. And, in college, you might not have a lot of time. You might not have a lot of money, but that's not an excuse to live on cup of noodles. But if you do, more power to you, Last one is something I've learned when I went back into school into a master's program, and it's essentially always try to be ahead, and that's the best way to make sure you're never behind. So if you plan to turn a paper in and have it ready 3 days ahead of time in your printer breaks, then the worst that happens is you're going to turn it in on time. So rather than hoping everything goes perfect and kind of waiting to the last minute, just try to be ahead. And you kind of get this wonderful feeling where when you procrastinate, there's a feeling of dread that slowly builds. And then you have to do the work anyway. If you do the work right away, then you have that same amount of time at the end where you just feel good because everything's under control. So I understand, and even me, sometimes I need to procrastinate to kind of get the juices flowing, but at the same time, do yourself a favor, finish early, and then enjoy the rest of your time so you have nothing to worry about.
Hi, seniors. Congratulations for your graduation. For your graduation, I want to give some advice for your future and for your college. First is, you must feel that you are happy. Everybody wants you to be happy. So remember that your parents, your friends, your teachers love you guys. So be happy. Even though you got stressed at the college, be happy. That's the first one. And second one is you must find a mentor in as many fields as possible. So you must be a mentor and mentoree like that, each other with some people. I heard that for the successful people, they have at least 15 mentors. Okay, so trying to find the mentor and then get some advice from them, and that's the good way. And the last one is I want to make a plan so that you can be happy at your 40s. Okay, a long time ago, I gave a lot of advice that be happy at during your college work or right after that to getting a job or for the marriage like that. But I've realized that you cannot be happy at that time. To be happy in your life, you need to get a target to your 40s, and then even though you're not in the right track, if your direction is okay, then you will be happy later. Don't get stressed and don't get frustrated, and just check that you are in the right direction, then you'll go anyway. Okay? Congratulations and Godspeed, you guys. Bye-bye.
Here are my 3 bits of advice for being successful at school. My first bit of advice is to find your people. And by that I mean find a group of friends, find a group of people that will help you to be exactly the person that you want to be. Not people that will try to change you or make you into what they would want you to be, but people that will support you and the things that are important to you, and just to become the person that you really want to be. My second bit of advice is to try lots of new things. College is a time really unique in your life where you have so many learning opportunities, both formal and informal, and it's a great time to explore and just try things you've never tried before, try things that you think would be really hard, and you'll probably learn something new about yourself that you really like. It might even make you change your major and find a job or a career that you love more than you thought you could. My third and final bit of advice is to be kind to everyone as much as humanly possible. I think that the world that we live in right now is a pretty tough place. There's a lot of conflict and violence and problems that need to be solved. And, day to day, it's easy to get overwhelmed by all those things. But just making it part of your life goal to be kind to people that you run into throughout the day, especially people that maybe aren't in your close sphere of friends, just people that you meet when you're out doing errands, or just a stranger or whatever. But just to be kind as much as you possibly can. Sometimes my kids will come to me with a problem and ask me for advice, my own children, older grown-up children, and I will sometimes quote the English expression, kill them with kindness. And so I just challenge you to just overcome a lot and make the world a better place by being kind as much as you can.
Hello, QISS seniors. I've been asked to give you some advice for college, and so I thought I'd share a couple of ideas. Hopefully they will help. If not, then you can put this on high speed if you'd like. But my first piece of advice is to treat school like a job. Put in enough time, take some time away. I had an older brother who was a really good student. He ended up being a doctor, and one time I asked him, he's 6 years older than me, I said, Jim, what's your secret? And he said that every class afterwards, he would run off to a library or something and carefully just spend time going over what he learned during that class. And so that was his habit. And obviously, it worked very well for him. I took his advice, and it worked well for me, among other things that you'll discover, to just have some kind of routine that you can get things done, a special place you can go. I'm sure some people will give you that advice. Find that little sanctuary in the library or something. And also working in groups. I really like that in college. Find people that you can work with. And it makes it really more pleasant when you're studying. Second thing is to take risks and enjoy. Do something. There's usually lots of clubs at universities. Do something that's outside the box for you. I remember I was a writer at the school newspaper, which you can imagine was a bit of a stretch, but I would interview professors about the research and write articles on it. I learned a lot, met some really neat people, and it did stretch me, but I totally enjoyed it. Also, you'll probably come, if you're in the United States anyway, you'll come upon parties where students will be having fun and maybe drinking themselves into a mental disorder. And you imagine, I don't think that's a great idea, but if you find yourself at one of those parties, you can totally enjoy it without fully participating. As a friend used to say to me, he said, you should nurse your drink. And that's actually good advice, to nurse your drink. So nurse means like a little baby. Keep your one drink for a very long time, and then you don't have to worry about getting yourself in a situation that in the end isn't really that enjoyable. And the last one is love never fails. That's my advice. Remember that love never fails. Some of you guys have asked me over the past couple of years about my little bracelet. So I'll show that to you real quick here. You've read it. Well, I don't really have a light, but it says love never fails. Maybe if you pause, love never fails. But this is from my daughter. She works at a school, as you know, in Fuzhou. Not a school, but a home for kids with special needs. And so that's the motto of their school, love never fails. And that is a great motto for college, because sometimes in the thick of college you can forget about people, and people really are the most important thing. And so I encourage you to get to know people, build those relationships. And in case you're wondering how to really define love, I'll give you a quick definition that you might want to come back to sometime, but I like to give technical definitions and explain them in detail. I just won't do the explaining. So the definition for love is a heartfelt commitment to choose the best for others, even if it is difficult, inconvenient, or even painful. So go think about that if you want, about it being commitment, a choice, others focused, and so on. But remember that in your relationships, that love never fails. And in fact, as you're a student and you're learning, I realize have a bigger purpose, and that you want to eventually get a job, perhaps have a family, and contribute to whatever. And so, in a sense, when you're alone studying for many hours, it is benefiting other people in the long run. So enjoy, work hard, and I really look forward to hearing from you. My email address will probably never change, john.underwood67@yahoo.com. I'd love to hear from you, and I wish you well.
Hello. We're here to give you some tips for college. Mrs. Lenhart and Mr. Lenhart. I think the first advice that we have for you is to be organized. The more organized you are, the more successful you're going to be. We are both big list makers, and when you're overwhelmed with where do you even start, going to that list really is helpful to keep you on track, and it always feels good to mark something off, like done, ready, next thing.
Also, there are many times where you'll have a lot of activities going on throughout the week, and it's been very helpful for me to plan specific days where I'm going to do classwork. So depending on where you go to college, there will be nights when people go out. There are a lot of social activities on Thursday nights, on Friday nights, obviously the weekend, but sometimes Monday nights as well. So what I used to do is I would always make sure that I would block off specific nights. I will not go out on Tuesday night or Wednesday night or Thursday night this week, so that I can make sure that all my work is done for all my classes.
The next piece of advice we have is to build relationships with people. Make friends with people different than you. You're going to find so many people have a lot to offer. And some of our best friends today are people that we met over 20 years ago in college. We actually met in college as well. It took a little bit longer for us to get married, but we met in college. So you never know who that person that you meet is, who they're going to be as a character in your life.
Or what they'll mean to you. And, you know, you have to break down stereotypes of what kind of people you think, how you think people will be. You know, we have all these preconceived ideas of what different ethnicities will be like, what different cultural nuances they will have. And usually you find out that more often than not, they are just like you, a little bit different, but 95% exactly the same. So don't close yourself off to making relationships with people that are significantly different than you are.
And I think the best piece of advice that I have for you is to have fun. Just don't take life so seriously. It's college, and yes, you want to get good grades, you want to do the best that you can, but when I think back in my life too, when the best times I ever had were, some of those best times were in college. So enjoy it, have fun.
And I also believe that you should do many things that you wouldn't normally do while you're in college. Experience life. If opportunities present themselves for you to travel, to do things, to go to your new friends' families' houses for Thanksgiving or Christmas, do it. Don't ever say no because you don't exactly know what to expect. The unexpected can always present itself and be some of the best times you've ever had or the most memorable times you've ever had. So, like Nike says, just do it. Don't be afraid and put yourself out there. Get out of your comfort zone and take chances with who you are as a person, and you'll mature and you'll grow in so many ways throughout these 4 or 5 years that you never imagined if you put yourself out there. So that's our advice. I think it's pretty good advice.
Yeah, good luck and congratulations.
Congratulations and good luck.